Hey there folks, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about, the World Motorsport Council decisions taken, today by the FIA. There have been several ones that stand out. Formula E is banning the use of twin motors. World Rallycross is going fully electric in 2021. Formula 1 is currently going on down its path for 2021 as well. But the one that grabbed my attention was the ones for the WRC, where they confirmed that the WRC will be going hybrid in 2022. I want to talk a little bit more about that in today's video, the kind of ideas they're thinking about. I'll post the link to the World Motorsport Council decisions down below, because I'll probably also be talking about the World RX stuff and potentially even the WEC stuff in the next couple of weeks. But the big one for me is WRC. Big one for me personally, having grown up being a rallying fan. And I'll read out what the FIA have said. The Council approved the introduction of a new generation of WRC cars in 2022 with a 5-year homologation cycle. Manufacturers will be allowed to use a production body shell or a prototype tubular structure to current WRC size guidelines, while the FIA is set to define carryover elements from production vehicles for key visual elements. There will also be an option for scaling of the body within prescribed limits to allow larger cars to comply with dimension targets. The cars will feature a supplementary hybrid system to be comprised of common components and software for the first 3 years, with potential for more technical freedom in 2024. The aim is to enable the cars to run on pure electric power in cities and provide an electric power boost on special stages. A tyre tender covering all championship classes with four-wheel drive cars will be issued for the period 2021 to 2024, helping to reduce costs by preventing an escalation in tyre development. The Junior WRC program will continue in its current format for the next 2 seasons, in addition to the existing price structure of a Ford Fiesta R5 plus a support package to compete in WRC2. The 2020 winner would benefit from a potential path to the WRC. Contingent upon then winning the WRC2 championship, the Junior WRC title winner would have the opportunity to compete in 2 WRC outings in an M Sport run car. To support this program, M Sport, in conjunction with Pirelli, have developed a national feeder program across Finland, the United Kingdom, Estonia and Italy that will allow you to step up into the world stage the following season. The Council approved the long-term extension of the current promoter, subject to a long-form agreement being signed. Approval of the 2020 FIA World Rally Championship calendar was deferred to the end of June 2019. In the intervening period, it will consider the potential rotation of competitions. Now that's all a bit of a kind of earful to try and digest, but essentially the things that stick out for me, outside of the fact that the calendar for next season is going to be delayed, are the tyre tender, the hybrid system, and, the kind of development JWRC program. Because whilst that bit about the scaling of the body is quite interesting, it means that, say, if you had a larger car, you'd be able to just go, let's make this car seem slightly smaller, or if you had a small car, you go, we can make it seem slightly bigger, which could open up more manufacturers. The hybrid system is the one that probably stands out the most. There's no real specification on how the electric power boost is going to work. I'd quite like it to work like ERS does in other motorsports, so say endurance and F1, because what that would allow is it would allow for the cars to be able to get like a boost coming out of low speed corners, and it also mean that, say, it's supposed to be common components the first couple of years. When they're able to start developing in-house, it would mean that the teams would be able to find ways to make it more efficient at harvesting or more efficient deployment. It would help teams, with bigger budgets, so say Toyota and Hyundai. But the spec parts will, when they come in, help out smaller teams like Toyota and Ford Citroen and Ford. And Citroen in particular will be really happy with that decision, because PSA Peugeot Citroen were potentially considering withdrawal from the WRC. And the fact that we've now got this definite that it will be 2022 will be going hybrid, it will work out. In fact, similar to how WRX going electric in 2021, with the transition year where you're going to have ICE and electric competing alongside each other, is going to help attract teams like the VAG, potentially the form of Audi, and PSA, Peugeot, etc., and probably in the guise of Peugeot back into World RX. The tyre tender, again, like I said, it's going to be interesting because right now it's Michelin, but it looks like it's going to potentially go into Pirelli. The reason why I'm saying that is look at who M Sport's working with the WRC feeder program. They work with Pirelli. But of course, at the same time, it's to try and stop this kind of discrepancy between, say, WRC2. In WRC2, we saw a massive tyre war going on only really a couple of seasons ago, where you ended up with Pirelli, DMAC, and Michelin all making different tyres for different outfits, and all of them work differently on different events. We saw that in the top flight as well before 2018, when Elfin managed to get 2 good performances out of the DMAC shod Fiesta in 2017, and Oid Tanak nearly won his first event in 2016 in Rally Poland because of the DMAC tyres. But essentially, by covering all 4-wheel drive car classes, that should cover WRC and WRC2. It could potentially cover the JWRC if they turn it to 4-wheel drive. All we know is that 2020 and 2021 they're going to keep the same kind of format. But I like the 5-year cycle. The 5-year cycle means that you've got 5 years of 17 to 21, you've got 22 to 26, and probably from 2027 we're going to see electric WRC. It means that it gives time for those technologies to properly develop. It means it gives teams time to properly assess whether or not they want to get involved. So say Volkswagen announced at the end of 2011 they were going to be in 2013. Hyundai announced at the end of 2012 they're going to be in 2014, and Toyota announced at the end of 2014 they were going to potentially be in for 16, and then deferred it to 17 when they saw the new regs coming in. So we might see some manufacturers looking at it and now going, ooh, what are we going to do here? Now I don't know who we'd likely see. I'd like to see the Volkswagen Auto Group come back, and I've said this several times before, I'd like to see it being Skoda taking the mantle there. But the thing about scaling of the body, it could attract some other makes. I'd love it to attract Subaru back, because if they attracted Subaru back, they'd probably bring over Atco or Higgins, and they'd almost certainly bring Solberg if they could. Because imagine that, we'd end up with Solberg versus Rovanperä. I honestly believe we would. But yeah, Sardinia's being interesting so far. If you're looking for my streams, I'm going to be uploading the next 2 as kind of premieres over the next couple of days, so you can leave stuff in the chat. I'll try and follow the chat if I can. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.